Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel where we break down the hottest crypto news to keep you ahead of the game. Today, I've got something big for you, news that could change how you look at your portfolio. Imagine this, you're holding on to your crypto, but the markets feel like a maze. New tech is launching, big names are making bold moves, and there's talk that trillions in assets are flooding into blockchain. Sounds exciting, right? But here's the problem. With so much happening, it's easy to miss the moves that could make or break your investments. One wrong step and you're left behind in a market that waits for no one. That's where we come in. And today we're diving into some massive stories shaking up the crypto world. And I'm breaking it down for you in simple terms so you can stay ahead. We've got a game-changing blockchain upgrade, a wild political twist that's got everyone talking, and a prediction that could mean trillions flowing into crypto. So stick with me because these aren't just headlines. They're signals of where the market is headed. And here's the kicker. If you stick with me until the end, I've got a little secret crypto community for you flying under the radar. Trust me, you won't want to miss this one where the real analysts are connecting. Plus, we will be heading over to X to find out all the breaking news in the crypto world today. And we'll be heading over to 4X Factory to find out all the red folder news that you need to know this week. We'll also be taking a look at XRP in the daily charts and the weekly charts. We'll also be looking at the long-term and short-term momentum waves. And so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here on this channel every single day, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap, check out the overall health of the crypto market today. As you can see right here, we are trading at 3.29 trillion total market cap. We are down slightly today, only $102 billion worth of trading volume in the last 24 hours. On the 30-day, you can see it's just basically trading sideways, but when you zoom out on the yearly, we did have a nice pump to the upside, consolidating to the side right now. There is a make or break moment coming. Are we pushing higher or are we pushing lower? Fear and greed index coming in the neutral zone at 50 as of right now. Yesterday was a 52, last week a 47. Altcoin season index is still full on Bitcoin season, 22 out of 100 on the index. Yesterday was a 21, last week 28, so it's creeping up a tad. Bitcoin dominance still crushing it, 64.7%, up 1% on the day. Bitcoin ETFs off to a great start for the week. As you can see, $102 million into the Bitcoin ETFs yesterday. Ethereum also doing well, $30 million, 31.8 to be exact, into the Ethereum ETFs. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap. Number 1, Bitcoin at $106,000. Ethereum number 2 at $2,400. Tether number 3 at $1. XRP at number 4 at $2.20. BNB at number 5, $651. And Solana at number 6, $148. 4X Factory shows this morning, Jerome Powell got out there to speak. And in reality, it was bad news. And we'll show you that when we jump over to the breaking news over on X. The ISM manufacturing PMI, though, did come out as a stronger number. It was forecasted at 48.8, came out at 49. Also, job openings. These were forecasted at 7.3 million job openings, came in with 7.77 million job openings. So they are hiring out there if you're looking for a job. Why this is important, the job creation is an important leading indicator of consumer spending, which accounts for a majority of overall economic activity. So as we see here from the Bureau of Labor and Statistics, the number of job openings was little changed at 7.8 million in May. The U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics reported today, over the month, both hires and total separations were little changed at 5.5 million and 5.2 million, respectively. For the rest of the week, keep a heads up on the non-farm employment change coming out tomorrow. Very important numbers. But Thursday, the big number we're all looking for, the unemployment rate will be launching on Thursday. A good number typically is good news for Bitcoin. We're also going to have average hourly earnings month over month and non-farm employment change. And then wrapping it up for the day, we're going to have services PMI. No news on Friday due to 4th of July. Heading over to X to find out the breaking news. So first and foremost, Tim Draper now predicts Bitcoin will replace the dollar within 10 years. Let's take a listen.
We think that we will no longer have U.S. dollar dominance over the long period, but that's over a long period of time.
A ballpark estimate of how, when Bitcoin will replace the U.S. dollar?
10 years, something like that. It may be a little less because there will be a moment. I mean, the good news here is that banks can now hold your Bitcoin and your fiat currency. And so if you desperately, you're in a, like you see it on social media, hey, we got to get rid of our dollars, we got to buy Bitcoin. You can do it pretty quickly online, but you don't want to be, in line at the banks trying to get your dollars out to put them into Bitcoin when there is a transformation. I mean, I think stable coins are going to be a nice bridge to Bitcoin. But at some point, people are going to say, why are we, having governments? Whenever there's sort of trust in government, then great. Then, everybody feels.
We just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below. Get in right now.
Interesting statement there from Tim Draper. The thing that I wonder about, though, is if, let's say that United States is the first mover into Bitcoin and all of our companies are going there, as you can see with MicroStrategy and many others. What if there was a country out there that was anti-American and had a lot of Bitcoin, and then they just went and dumped it on the open market? It would have severe catastrophic effects, like a black swan event on the crypto markets, but then also on the stock markets after that, because now a lot of our stocks and a lot of our corporations are doing Bitcoin treasuries. So let me know, have you contemplated that at all? I've been contemplating that a lot lately, because obviously there's craziness going on in the world with the war with Iran and Israel and Russia and China starting to get involved in these things. Could a country secretly nuke the entire market just by selling all of the coins that they have? I think yes. Let me know your opinion down below. All right. And today, unfortunately, we expect to see higher inflation readings over the summer. So Powell, again, going against the grain. Everybody, I'm talking literally everybody, not just Trump's administration, but everybody in finance continues to say that inflation has cooled and we should be reducing rates. But as we know, Jerome Powell hates Donald Trump and he continues to come out and fight against him. So as we can see here, we expect to see higher inflation readings over the summer. That is why we're not getting these reductions. Now, there was some good news. Looks like the federal funds rate will start to come down before September, but only time will tell. And the other interesting thing is the interest rates are adjustable. So if they were to lower the interest rates, inflation does kick in during the summer. Well, guess what? You can then re-raise the rates. So this makes no sense on what's going on here. So also, in some really bad news out there for quite a few people, unfortunately, Linqto, there's an update. They are filing their bankruptcy in the coming days. Expected consumers will likely be transformed into unsecured creditors who will have to wait in line to get paid. So Crypto Eerie goes on here, from boiler room sales tactics to selling to consumers in Iran and North Korea. There are many more violations in between. This is guerrilla warfare. Take no prisoners. Throw everything we have at the one targeted date. Influencers, marketing, ads, social calls, and smoke signals. Email from Bill Saris on January 5th, 2023. Now, we never did any research or advertising or anything like that into Linqto, but this is crazy because a lot of people who support Ripple, they were selling a potential Ripple IPO. So to recap on some of the highlights of the article, Linqto founder Bill Saris was trying to unload shares of Ripple to Linqto's 11,000 users at a price 60% higher than he paid. The SEC generally prohibits markups above 10%, but Saris pushed ahead, not disclosing the hike to the customers, and pocketed $2 million. This looks to be securities fraud. The SEC and the DOJ are also investigating whether Saris improperly sold additional 16,000 shares of Ripple without permission. Linqto's own lawyers were also sending warning signals in an 8-page memo. They worried that its tactics were potentially illegal and outlined roughly a dozen recommended chart changes, including no longer allowing its customers to self-certify that they were accredited and avoiding any possible exposure to severe civil or even criminal penalties, according to the memo. Also, President Trump says failure to pass the one big beautiful bill will result in a whopping 68% tax increase, the largest in history. So we know Trump is going full charge for the big beautiful bill. His plan is to counter inflation and also the debt ceiling by outgrowing it. So his plan is to revive the economy to such a level that it just starts to flourish and the flywheel momentum builds out so much that the debt ceiling never gets touched because of GDP or growth for the country. Also, in important news for you guys, the Supreme Court rejects Coinbase's request to block IRS from accessing user data. So if you're not familiar, IRS can go into Coinbase and get your data into your crypto transactions that you've been doing for many, many years. Now, it's kind of funny and kind of jokey here because Income Shark said, don't worry, Coinbase has already leaked out everyone's data anyway. As you know, Coinbase did have that massive leak that shared out a lot of people's private information. Not everybody's private information, but the rumors are true and the conspiracy theorists were right. The IRS is tracking your information and your spending habits and your crypto information on Coinbase. Now, Coinbase's legal team did come out. Paul Grewal, chief legal officer for Coinbase, came out and said, someday we will wake up to the truth that expectations of privacy do not disappear when personal information is entrusted to a third party. Just not today. We will continue to fight. Now, to give it to Coinbase, at least on the face of it, it looks like they have been trying to battle back against the IRS. But unfortunately, the Supreme Court is backing the IRS on this situation, which is weird because the IRS is just a debt collecting agency for the Federal Reserve, which is also not a United States government agency. So kind of strange there. Now, as we know, the Jerome Powell war has continued on, and Geiger Capital actually posted the handwritten letter that Trump sent to Jerome Powell. He's not happy. So he says, Jerome, you are, as usual, too late. You have cost the United States a fortune and continue to do so. You should lower the rate by a lot. Hundreds of billions of dollars is being lost. No inflation. Signed, Donald Trump. And he says we should be here, right? So it says should be here. And he noted where we should be at 0.25 to 1.75. Right now, he's got us highlighted in the yellow zone. So unfortunately, our interest rates by the Federal Reserve are coming in at the same as Cameroon, New Guinea, Gabon, Guatemala, Israel, Mauritius, Norway, Republic of Congo, and Vietnam. All right, for you XRP fans, the biggest news that I'm really excited to share with you guys today, XRPL EVM sidechain launches on mainnet, adding Ethereum-compatible smart contracts and faster, cheaper transactions to XRP Ledger ecosystem. And this is a big deal, and here's why in simple terms. Until now, XRPL was super fast and cheap for payments, but it couldn't run the same kind of smart contracts or apps as Ethereum. This sidechain changes that. Unless developers build Ethereum-style apps like DeFi platforms, lending protocols, and tokenized assets right on XRPL using XRP as the gas token. So why does this matter? Well, it's like giving XRP a turbo boost. This sidechain can handle 1,000 transactions per second with blocks finalizing in just 3 to 4 seconds and fees as low as a fraction of a cent. Compare that to Ethereum's high cost and slower speeds, and you see why this is huge. Plus, it's connected to over 80 blockchain through XLR's bridge, so XRP can now play in the multi-chain world. For investors, this could drive demand for XRP, especially with over 6 million XRPL wallets ready to jump in. Posts on X have been buzzing about this, with some calling it an interoperability game changer for DeFi and real-world assets. So keep your eye on the XRP price because this is massive. And we did see a pretty huge surge yesterday, cooling off already, but we want to see this continue to push past the $2.20 range to the upside. And just in as well, Treasury Secretary Bessent says that they are working to select the Fed Chair Powell's replacement in the coming weeks. So when we go back to that handwritten letter from Trump, he reportedly urged Powell to keep interest rates low, saying it's critical for economic growth, and crypto markets are reading between the lines, of course. So Low interest rates often mean more money flowing into riskier assets like crypto, boosting the prices, which is, of course, what we want to see. Crypto definitely thrives when money is cheap. Think back to the COVID experience when all of our interest rates were extremely low. So if Powell listens, that's a big if, it could spark a rally across the markets. Either way, it's a reminder that macro events like Fed policy can move crypto pieces fast. No hard evidence ties this note directly to policy shift yet, so take it with a grain of salt, but it's got traders talking for sure. And Scott Bessent, on top of the talks of Jerome Powell, he says this is the start of addressing the debt, and he's talking about raising the debt ceiling. So if the start is adding $5 trillion, can we actually wait for the end? Also, big news breaking, SEC acknowledges the amendment to convert Grayscale's digital large cap fund into an actual ETF, and it will cover Bitcoin, Ethereum, XRP, Solana, and ADA. And I saw this and thought this was something important that you guys should know, maybe for your children, for yourself. If you're younger listening, you're a genius for being here in the first place. But taking one personal finance class in high school has a lifetime benefit of roughly $100,000. So for those people that took a personal finance class in high school, got some education on how money works, they generally made over $100,000 more than their peers that didn't care about money at all when they were in high school. All right, jumping over to the XRP charts. We had the big boost yesterday, unfortunately falling by the wayside today. We're back to where we started yesterday, currently sitting at $2.18 at the time recording this video. Now, what we have here is our weekly spider lines. These are resistance and support lines that have drawn from the drop of 2018 with the spike of the April 2021 spike there, and then the lines drawn into the future with the Ray tool. So as we can see, these have been very, very keen. So January 15, 2018 is currently the weekly bodied candle support. We even wicked to that just a couple of weeks ago, literally bounced right off of it. But unfortunately, we're running into the resistance line, which is just right above it. And that one's from the January 22nd weekly close candle. We're trying to push through. We can see here we've pushed up it once, peaked above it twice, peaked above it 3 times, now 4th time, unfortunately failing to remain above $2.25. After $2.25, that will give us the ability to push back into the next level here, which is at $2.55. Now that's the support and resistance lines. So we got $1.90, $2.25, $2.55. And then after we break that one, we get up into the 280s. That's when we get exciting again. You can see how spot on these are. Up here, it actually hit it right at the $3.30 level and rejected off those levels twice before we started our drop to the downside. Long-term momentum on the weekly is still bullish. Short-term momentum on the weekly, unfortunately, has flattened out. No momentum there. We're waiting for this to start to make its curve to the upside. On the 3-day, it is starting to make its curve to the upside. So that is positive news. Unfortunately, today's candle, it's a 3-day candle. We broke above the trend line that was going on here, $2.18. We have 1 day, 10 hours left in this 3-day candle. So we need to see a surge back above 225. It's the most important level right now that we need to break above. On the daily charts, we can see we got into these same levels that we failed at last time at these $2.30 range. And unfortunately, yesterday we pumped into that. There was a lot of people that were in long positions here. They thought it was going to take off, and they finally got back to break even, and they sold all their positions, and that's where we're coming down. So long-term momentum starting to make the surge back to zero line, ready to make the crossover, turning bullish. Right now, we are still in bearish territory, long-term momentum. Also, short-term momentum has gotten to the peak here. Looking to see the short-term green candle have a little quick reset down while the white candle remains to the top side, or the white chart. So last time that happened, white was remaining to the top. Price continued to surge. We had a dip and then a rip, and you can see what happened right here with price. So we're getting close to the breakout, but unfortunately, they keep on faking us out. They keep on tricking us. They're not giving us the actual breakout here, unfortunately. So when we take a look at this channel that we've been building right here, tops and bottoms, we can see we've done a liquidity grab here, liquidity grab here, liquidity grab here, but the actual channel is right in this area. We have not broken and confirmed out of that just yet. In our shorter time frame here, we can see that when our move started to happen on this 12-hour candles, we did have the push up, really nice. We can see our shortest term momentum is about to reset. We have breached the zero line on the long-term momentum on the 12 hours. So we can see last time we did that, though, we immediately failed. And it's starting to look that way right now, unfortunately, in the shorter term. If we look at the 4 hour, same scenario here. We got above it. This one was more of a bullish rebound, right? Down and up. But right now, short-term momentum is caving to the downside, unfortunately. Hey, bull runners, are you feeling FOMO about this bull run without the right financial support? We're here to change that. We're not just about funding. We're about growing your business together. Whether you're investing in crypto, kicking off a new startup, managing your existing business, or looking to expand, we have personalized funding that meets your exact needs. Imagine starting your business or getting capital to invest $100,000 to $250,000 at 0% interest. That's not a dream. It's what we do. We've helped countless entrepreneurs like you with 0% interest funding without needing personal funds, income verification, or collateral. With just a 680 credit score, you qualify. We understand that your business can't wait, so take advantage of our quick funding approach. We look beyond the credit score with inclusive approval process that sees the big picture of your business or investment potential. Our flexible repayments are tailored to match your business cycles, ensuring you can manage repayments without strain. With access to our extensive lending network of over 5,000 options, we're committed to finding the perfect match for your business or investing needs. Plus, you'll have our dedicated team by your side, guiding you through every step of the funding journey. Whether it's buying crypto, hiring new employees, or launching a new product, we're committed to your success. Click the link to connect with our expert advisors and secure your business's future now.